Today is Monday, October 19th, 2015. This is in response to George Will's column in the Washington Post. I believe it was on October 16th. Producers of inequality, of income inequality, I'm sorry. So this is, the reason why I like to do George Will every now and then is because I can't stand him. He's very, very smart. He puts in a lot of big words that I sometimes have to go to the dictionary to read. And even though I flunked out of college twice and then got a college degree, I still don't know what he's talking about. But producers of, and of course, you know, the title attracted me. What the hell is Will going to say? Now, he's very conservative, and he's been writing for the Washington Post for a long time, at least 40 years. And he's really bitten into this Tea Party concept quite a bit lately. Really become very cruel in the way, in his thinking, etc. And so he's hard to read too. So of course he mentions that really, of course, because this is the basis of everything when it comes to conservatives, is the reason that there is income inequality, especially in the United States, is because of freedom. And by that he means that there is a decision to become a hedge fund manager, and there is a decision to be a elementary school teacher or a kindergarten teacher. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, they did some studies a little bit, and they said for every 100,000 or so elementary school teachers, that pays the amount of salary for one year's salary for 100,000 elementary school teachers is about the same as what one hedge fund manager makes. But there's a little bit of difference. Is that the elementary school teachers, kindergarten, whatever grade it is, they have made a decision that they want to help people in their lifetime, and that they will use the tools that they have learned to work within a system to try and help children learn critical thinking skills, how to be reactive, how to be disciplined, how to structure themselves, all of those types of things. And they're willing to take a salary for it. But I don't think that they went in thinking that they were just going to be brutalized by the right-wing world in terms of being lazy, in terms of being incompetent, in terms of we can do this, we don't really need school teachers, so to speak, because they're all part of a union, etc. And of course, the freedom for a hedge fund manager whose sole job it is to screw other people out of their money in a lot of ways. Not necessarily every way, but in a lot of ways. So he brings up the wrong premise the whole time. And of course, his whole point of bringing stuff up is I guess some type of intellectual thing about how the right is always correct. So freedom is the reason there's income inequality. And the things that have exacerbated income equality, where things would be more equal if it wasn't for these things, is number one, entitlements, or I would like to indicate that those are earned benefits. But of course, entitlements, again, is the whole idea of the left of vilifying people who don't make a whole heck of a lot of money and saying that they're not worthy of these benefits. Whereas most of the people who are receiving benefits in the United States are working. And of course, they don't want to have an increase in the minimum wage. They don't want to have a whole host of other things that could help out people in the lower class or the middle class make more money, so they wouldn't need some of these, what he would call entitlements, but I would call earned benefits in that regard for Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And what's the other things they talked about? Oh, another thing he talked about was regulatory government. You know, that big, you know, the business would just be so unshackled by the creativity that would be spawned, you know, if there weren't so many regulations. And of course, we know right now, and I used to read the Wall Street Journal all the time, and I remember like every single week, year in, year out, there was always some scam that was listed in the Wall Street Journal about someone trying to screw someone. And of course, that has nothing to do with the EPA and the amount of pollution that's being put out there, the way they're trying to screw individuals who work, who's the guy, Blankensfield, for the coal mines, who's getting charged with aggravated murder, I believe. I can't remember exactly. You know, but who wanted to get rid of all these coal regulations. We need efficient, effective government to have regulations, because left unregulated businesses will screw over everything to make a buck. But you know, he doesn't want to talk about that. He just talks about the creative power of the individual. And then he brings up two other things that I really don't don't understand ZIRP, which is zero interest rate policy. Because I just don't grasp. It just doesn't fit into this whole thing that he's trying to bring about. And then the last thing is family disintegration, because there are more women who are raising children right now that they need more benefits because they're not making enough money. Well, but does he support increasing minimum wage? Does he support equal pay for equal work? See, he doesn't support any of that kind of stuff, but he blames them because women have decided that many women have decided that they need to raise their children on their own without a man there, obviously because the man's not helping out, so to speak. But then blaming out of wedlock mothers, so to speak, for this, again, he's scraping the bottom of the barrel. There's so many things that could help these women that with untapped potential that we need to invest in these types of things. But this is something that day in and day out, the Republicans, George Will, it's like they're oblivious to what can really help out. And remember, everything is couched in freedom from everything, and what we need is freedom from their happy horse crap.